Another piece today, has Bowe Bergdahl, the last American prisoner of the Afghan war, forgotten English? His father seems to think so.
I'd like to say to Bowe right now, who's having trouble speaking English, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Zayabayem. I'm your father, Bowe.
I hope that when you hear this, and when you're ready to hear this, and when you see this, I hope your English is coming back.
That is Bob Bergdahl, who actually speaks Pashto. That's one of Afghanistan's native languages. For his part, Bowe Bergdahl is said by some of his former soldiers to have studied Pashto, Arabic, and another Afghan language in his bunk. With me now from Los Angeles, linguist Sandra Disner of the University of Southern California. And Sandra, welcome, first and foremost.
My pleasure.
Bowe Bergdahl was held, as we know, close to 5 years. Is it possible that a person can forget their native language either through trauma that Bergdahl endured or through lack of use if he was communicating with his captors through another language?
Well, I can't speak to the trauma. I'm not a psychologist, but I can tell you that linguists have studied this phenomenon. It's called language attrition for quite a few years, and we're learning ever more about it. The quick answer is he hasn't forgotten it. The chances are overwhelmingly in favor of him retrieving his English quite quickly. People do this all the time. We've had studies that range from people that are just away for a junior year abroad to those who have moved to another society for much of their lives, and they all manage to retrieve, to be able to speak their first language when necessary. They might not choose to do so, but they will certainly have the ability to do so. My favorite example is the grandmother of my best friend in high school, who was born in the Cape Verde Islands, spoke Portuguese for the first 17 years of her life, and she emigrated to Boston, spoke nothing but English with her 5 children in her household, and lived to the ripe old age of 115. She became the second oldest person on earth at the time of her death. But what's interesting here is that when she turned 108, she had a minor stroke. It didn't create any impairment other than the fact that her English disappeared, and all she spoke was the Portuguese that she hadn't spoken for nearly a century.
How about that?
So your language is really well imprinted, unless, of course, you have left it as a child, as a really young child. Children under 8, for example, those in international adoptions, will forget their native language.
Which we know that wasn't this case. He was 23 at the time of the capture, but reportedly, Bowe Bergdahl sketched out the initials SF ? On this paper plate when he was rescued, presumably asking if they were special forces rescuing him. So that sounds to me that maybe, to your point, he hasn't forgotten English entirely at all.
Correct. If anything's going to be lost, it'll be individual words. The accent is less likely to erode, and the grammar is less likely yet. There is going to be some diminution. As I said, these cases of students coming back from junior abroad where they are immersed in Spanish or Japanese or something will recognizably quaver in their English a little bit, but that won't be long. Once they come back into an English-speaking environment, the first language will typically come back quite quickly. Now, I'm not clear about the effects of his trauma. This might be totally overshadowed by any psychological damage he may have endured, but to a linguist, it's a very optimistic situation.
Okay. Sandra Disner from University of Southern California, linguist. Thank you for your perspective on that.